Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sarah Pearson.
Many, many thank yous, and good morning, distinguished guests. I'm not going to mention all by name, Doreen, you did a fabulous job of that, but I will say how exciting it is to have the National Development Planning Republic of Indonesia here, because it is so important to align your development in this country with women and inclusivity, and knowing that you can actually do more by doing that. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you. Geeta, I am going to mention you because we've worked together before in DFAT. It's really wonderful to see DFAT's long-term commitment and your global recognition as amazing leaders in this space, so thank you. Also, it's wonderful to be here in Indonesia's stock exchange. How fantastic. Look, things are happening. We're talking about action. Things are happening while we are here. We are in the heart of action. So many, many thank yous for letting us have today here. It's very, very important. Obviously, Doreen, thank you so much for all that you have done and do and are going to do. I met Doreen in 2018, and I remember thinking, something amazing is happening here. And look at what you and your fabulous team and this entire community have been doing since then. Good morning, or shall I say, Selamat Pagi. I'd also really like to use Indigenous language from my own country. In Australia, our Indigenous people are beginning to learn their language, and very kindly, some of them have taught me some of their language. So in the language of the Aniwan people, that's from the little region called New England up in the mountains in New South Wales, Dangana or Tilla. That means greetings to a group of people in the Aniwan language. I'd also like to start by thanking IIX for bringing us all together. 500 people registered and 200 online. That gives you an idea of the movement and the momentum that this movement is having. Thanks again to the Indonesia Stock Exchange and the Ministry of National Development Planning for bringing the Orange Forum to Indonesia for the very first time. I applaud Indonesia for the leadership that you are showing. You are inspiring the world in terms of what you are doing right here, right today, and have been for some time. So many, many, many thank yous to that. The inspiring actions are changing the world of finance in a really, really good way. Of course, a warm thanks to the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. As I said, this is a journey that you've been on for quite some time, for many years, and I'd like to recognise your global leadership in this area, and also including back in your home country, which can be so unusual for a country to actually have its Foreign Affairs Department making a big difference in their own country. My name is Dr. Sarah Pearson. I have the truly real privilege of serving as the inaugural chair of the Orange Movement. And throughout my career in science and innovation, I've encouraged women to take their place. I've encouraged women to have voice. And I've seen how powerful things happen when evidence, creativity, empowerment, and purpose all come together. And the Orange Movement is a perfect example of that energy, practical, ambitious, grounded in the real work of people driving change on the ground. That's something I believe very passionately about. Driven and led by those we seek to empower, giving voice and opportunity to those who know the challenges, they know the opportunities intimately, and they know those opportunities are designed to make a disproportionate difference. These are the people that we work with and unleash. For centuries, I believe about 700, in fact, capital markets were designed to serve a very narrow segment of society. They achieved remarkable things. Industrialization has been incredible, but they did so while leaving many people out of that story. Women, indigenous peoples, and underserved communities were rarely at that decision-making table. Sometimes the beneficiaries, but overall rarely recognized as economic actors in their own right. And if there's one thing that I would like to do, it's to get rid of the deficit model. This is not about being nice, it's not about being kind, it's about being smart. It's about understanding that women know how to drive solutions, but also women deliver investable, return on investment solutions that we would be so smart and wise to invest in. The legacy from the past matters. It's shaped those financial systems that often reinforce inequality instead of reducing it. Systems that overlook on-the-ground contributions, underprice capability, and underestimate the economic value created by women, not William. Isn't that terrible? There must be some subconscious bias going on there, but by women. By local leaders and especially by communities across the global south. And while this room and online is filled with people from different countries, sectors and roles, I believe there are two things we have in common. The recognition that the old financial system, however marvelous it's been, it no longer serves the world that we live in. And we have the ambition to make finance do good, to work for all and to build a better world. The Orange Movement is a framework that translates this shared ambition into action. That's what we're here for today, isn't it? What are the actions that we can be taking going forwards to build on the actions we've already taken? But our goal is to mobilize $10 billion by 2030 to empower 100 million women, girls, and underserved communities to drive climate action, build sustainable peace, and expand economic prosperity. The goal is not only urgent, but more importantly, it is achievable. And not only that, but it is smart. We don't need to believe that deficit model. Inclusion means we embrace those who understand the issues, they understand how to fix them, and research shows us that they are best placed to make that difference. And as a scientist, I like to go back to the evidence. I rather like data. It's brilliant to see all this data here today. And across field after field, the data is clear. When we get it right for women, we get it right for everyone. We see this in climate leadership. Countries with more women in parliament are far more likely to ratify environmental treaties and adopt stronger climate commitments. We see it in peace and security. Peace agreements that include women are 35% more likely to endure for at least 15 years. And women's participation can reduce the chance of conflict returning by up to 37%, the smart thing to do. And we see it in economic prosperity. The World Economic Forum estimates that advancing women's employment could add $12 trillion to global GDP and boost some countries' economic output by as much as 35%. It's the smart thing to do. Gender equality is one of the most reliable predictors of long-term growth. And I suspect many of us in this room have known this for quite some time. I'm not telling you anything new. The evidence is not new. The question is, how do we turn what we know into something that markets can act on, something that markets go, that is the smart way to go? And that was the starting point for Orange Bonds, the world's first cross-cutting asset class investing in women, marginalized communities, and climate resilience. I remember the day that Doreen announced it. It was International Women's Day from memory in Australia, and I just roared with joy. Such a wonderful thing to have done on that day. It's an instrument that reflects the realities on the ground, SDGs that overlap, challenges that intersect, and communities that feel these pressures first. It also gives green, blue, and sustainability-linked bonds a way to incorporate an orange dimension, recognizing women's central role in food systems, coastal livelihoods, climate adaptation, and community resilience. To think that just 3 years ago this asset class didn't exist, yet today $1.5 billion have been committed to the Orange Movement across markets including Indonesia, many thanks, Japan, Singapore, Australia, and the United States. As was mentioned earlier, today over 292,000 people across 6 continents have signed that Orange Pledge. And today we're gathered in the Indonesia Stock Exchange, where we have the country's first orange bond and the largest orange bond and the world's first orange sukuk, all listed. Many thank you. In conclusion, these milestones show that the Orange Movement is not actually purely aspirational, it's becoming inevitable. What once seemed impossible is now unfolding before our eyes, and that is thanks to each of you in this room and those tuning in from home. From regulators to issuers, investors and civil society, this movement is accelerating because each of you chose to shape financial markets that serve all people and the planet. I'm so looking forward to the panels ahead. I'm going to be dipping in and out for various things, and I'm really excited to hear your voice, to hearing how each of you have been and will take and suggest we take this momentum further, advancing orange finance through bold policy, innovative instruments, and leadership that starts from the ground up. This is the beginning of a new era Much has been done, but a new era is arising, and the world is watching how we redefine the future of finance, not as a system of exclusion, but as a force for inclusion, resilience, and hope, and greater returns, because it's smart to invest in women. I wish you all a successful and inspiring Orange Forum, and I so look forward to continuing this journey with you as we paint, as Doreen said, the world orange together. Thank you.